felt as if he was going to engage in a physical fight with us, and that's why we did put him in restraints to try to get him to de-escalate. That's why I do believe that his behavior...
You put me in handcuffs. Not restraints.
Mr. Bennett, you're going to have you and your attorney will have an opportunity to speak.
Okay. Yes, miss. If I was being aggressive, I would have got taken to the floor. Why was I not taken to the floor or put against a fixed surface? You get what I'm saying? I wasn't being aggressive. And then she's saying 8/8. This didn't happen on 8/8. This happened on August 14th, my birthday. So why would I want to intentionally come into an office and be aggressive in the office on the first birthday out in 11 years? That just doesn't make any sense. You get what I'm saying? And on top of that, as far as she said the thing about taking a piss or whatever, you were rushing me out of your office because you had to go to the north end of Hartford. So yes, I know the way already. So it might have seemed like I got up abruptly, but at the end of the day, miss, you told me I got to take my piss test. So what I did, I went to the bathroom where I know I have to go. And I don't know how you took that, but I wasn't trying to be aggressive in that.
Listen, I get it around here, but a lot of times, you know, you got to go about things the right way. Yeah. And then they make you anyway.
You see what I'm saying? This shouldn't even be like that, you know? When you try to do that, it's like in the end. Oh,
Good morning, Mr. Bennett.
Good morning, how you doing? Good morning, miss. How you doing?
Theo McClay, are you there?
Yeah, can you guys hear me okay?
Yes, perfect. Mr. Bennett, can you hear Theo McClay? Can you hear her okay?
Yes, miss. Yes,
okay,
miss.
Thank you.
That's Miss Saunders, right?
25.
So I fast forwarded it because there was about 50 curfew violations, but I want my viewers to get all the good stuff, so I made sure to fast forward. Because I'm not just one of those people who milks it by trying to get you to watch a bunch of stupidity. I actually respect my fans, and I actually respect your time.
This PO and stated that you were not going to sign your misconduct. PO asked you again towards the end of your reporting session if you were going to sign the misconduct, and you became even more agitated by saying stated that these curfew violations were due to your scheduled working hours in Newport, and this PO was already advised by CRT, DOC, scattered site staff that you were not working during these GPS curfew violation hours. The PO asked if you could provide a urine sample. You called your employer and walked out of the PO's office, and you were visibly upset. You began to speed walk ahead of the PO and into the urine room area. You walked into the actual bathroom area and continued to be visibly upset by getting loud using vulgar language. You instructed you to exit the bathroom and stand over near the wall. Your aggressive behavior drew the attention of other officers in the building to the urine room. 2 officers and 2 supervisors responded. Continued to use vulgar language in an aggressive manner. Continued to express yourself in an aggressive way over your GPS monitoring, curfew violations, misconduct. This officer and another responding officer began to address you in the urine room about your aggressive behaviors. You began to respond by posturing towards him and this officer in a threatening manner. You're exhibiting signs as if you were going to engage in a physical fight. At one point, when the responding officer was addressing you about your aggressive behavior, you stated, "What the fuck are you going to do about it?" Due to your continued signs of aggression, officers instructed you to turn around and you were placed in state-issued handcuffs to maintain safety in the office. Through your actions, you intentionally caused inconvenience, annoyance, and alarm by engaging in tumultuous and threatening behavior, offensive and disorderly conduct, annoying and interfering with the officers and making unreasonable noise, thus violating Connecticut General Statute 53A-182, disorderly conduct. On 8/8/2025, you called this officer to report that you were going to be heading to the Hartford District Office for your scheduled reporting session. You mentioned to this PO your person. This PO advised you that you were not permitted into the building. This PO stated to you over the phone where you were at. PO also stated to you over a text message to leave where you were. It is also visibly posted in multiple areas at the Hartford District Office that alcohol and are prohibited in these premises. After you were placed in handcuffs, the pat search was conducted and marijuana was found on your person in the pocket of your shorts. Through your actions, you were in violation of Connecticut General Statute 21-422M, possession of this Department of Correctional Facilities or halfway houses.
The state has filed the following. What was that?
Oh, I'm sorry. Can you say that one more time? My phone cut out.
Oh, no problem. I was just saying the state has filed the following exhibits. So starting with Exhibit A.
Exhibit A, Connecticut Conditions of Parole. Exhibit B, Connecticut Board of Parole Remand to Actual Custody Order. Exhibit C, Notice of Parole Violation, Notice of Parolee Rights. Exhibit D, Parole Violation Report. Exhibit E, Allied GPS Event History. Exhibit F, Allied Position History. Exhibit G, Photo of Marijuana Substance with Positive Mixed Field Test. Exhibit 8, CT DOC Parole and Community Services Alcohol and Marijuana Prohibited Signs from the Hartford District Office. Exhibit I, text from P.O. McClade to Julian Bennett, re-instructions for marijuana. Exhibit J, CRT DOC Scattered Site Employment Confirmation. Exhibit K, GPS monitoring agreement. And Exhibit L, 1 misconduct.
Counsel, did you receive the notice of parole violation report, and the other documents that were just marked for identification purposes?
Yes.
Counsel, do you plan on calling any witnesses today?
Not today.
At this time, the state will have an opportunity to make a short statement and testify with respect to probable cause and the severity of the allegations. P.O. McClay?
Yes, there's just a couple of things that I wanted to point out. In the GPS, in charge number 1 and charge number 2, the GPS and curfew violations, well, they're all curfew violations. In Exhibit E and Exhibit F, you'll see multiple printouts from Allied GPS event history and Allied position history. I just wanted to make note that even though in the charges the times were not written, but I did add in those exhibits the dates and the times between 10 p.m. and 6 a.m. that Mr. Bennett was violating his curfew and he was not at work. So you can visibly see that he's been leaving his house on multiple dates in a row. 10:59 a.m. on 7:15, 7:17, 10:46, 7:18, 1:46 a.m. I have multiple pieces of evidence that show that he was leaving his house during his curfew hours, and he was not given permission to do so. And I also kind of want to note that CRT did confirm with me in an email, Exhibit J, that he did not start work. 1 second, sorry. So Mr. Hamill Hall, the job developer from CRT Scattered Site, he began working on 8/3/2025 and ended work on 8/9. So the dates that he had his curfew violation, those were not related to work. So I just wanted to point that out. And then I also wanted to point out in his violation charge number 3, obedience to the law. Yes, we did not call the police, but I do believe that the behaviors that he was portraying here in the office, that they do meet the elements of the disorderly conduct statute, and therefore he did violate his parole conditions for the obey all laws. I know he wasn't arrested by the police, but because of how he was acting, because of, he was getting loud, the language that he was using, at one point it felt as if he was going to engage in a physical fight with us, and that's why we did put him in restraints to try to get him to de-escalate. That's why I do believe that his behavior...
You put me in handcuffs. You put me in handcuffs, not restraints.
Mr. Bennett, you're going to have you and your attorney will have an opportunity to speak.
Yes, miss.
And that's why, we approached the situation that we did, because we are trained to respond to situations like that, and that's why, the cops were not involved. And that's pretty much all I wanted to point out, and that's all I pretty much have to say for that.
Thank you.
Okay. You're welcome.
It is now the defense opportunity to respond and make a short statement and testify with respect to probable cause and the severity of the allegations. Counsel?
Yes, thank you. Just to respond to the comments in regards to charge 1 and charge 2, which are the GPS, alleged GPS violations as well as curfew violations. I would just point out that the allegations by the parole officer should be supported by the evidence. It shouldn't be a situation where I have to dig through the evidence to find out exactly what she's trying to say. It's my belief that each allegation should contain exactly what is supported by the evidence. And so I'm just making those comments in response to her, I think, attempt to try to remedy how the violation was written. In regards to charge 3, the obedience to the law, certainly we would question why, if these allegations of violations of Connecticut statutes are in fact violations, why the police were not contacted. But I do have evidence that I would like to submit for the revocation hearing. So I'll address that more in detail at that point in time. Addressing my client being charged with bringing marijuana into a correctional Department of Correction facility or halfway house, I would simply point out that under the statute, the location of the parole office, there's no evidence submitted that qualifies as a Department of Correction facility. In fact, there were 18 correctional facilities noted in the state of Connecticut, 5 of which are closed, and 13 of which are in operation. And I certainly can read you what all of those facilities are, but I'm certainly sure you're aware of all the Department of Correction facilities in the state of Connecticut. This parole office is not listed as one of them, nor is it listed as a halfway house. A Department of Correction facility is a facility that houses inmates who are pretrial status with pending criminal cases, as well as sentenced prisoners. This is not a place where that takes place. So under the statute, I would submit that there's insufficient evidence for finding a probable cause, as it doesn't fit the statute.
Anything further, counsel?
No, again, I would like to just reserve my remaining comments for any future hearings if that's necessary.
Mr. Bennett?
Miss, I got something I would like to.
Mr. Bennett, before you speak, I
don't care about that, Miss. I need to say my piece.
I'm going to be honest, it's not about you saying your piece. When your lawyer tells you to be quiet, that means don't talk. You're digging yourself into a deeper hole. Your lawyer's trying to tell you, and to be honest, this is not helping your case whatsoever. At all.
Because I'm not about to sit here and get slandered like that. If my thing is, Miss, if I was being aggressive, if I was being aggressive and posturing, like they said, parole staff are trained to do takedowns. If I was being aggressive, I would have got taken to the floor. Why was I not taken to the floor or put against a fixed surface? You get what I'm saying? I wasn't being aggressive. And then she's saying 8/8. This didn't happen on 8/8. This happened on August 14th, my birthday. So why would I want to intentionally come into an office and be aggressive in the office on the first birthday out in 11 years? It just doesn't make any sense. You get what I'm saying? And on top of that, as far as she said the thing about taking a piss or whatever, you were rushing me out of your office because you had to go to the north end of Hartford. So yes, I know the way already. So it might have seemed like I got up abruptly, but at the end of the day, Miss, you told me I got to take my piss test. So what I did, I went to the bathroom where I know I have to go, and I don't know how you took that, but I wasn't trying to be aggressive or nothing like that. And then the last thing I want to touch on is she was like, she said something about what she had said again. She was like, damn, yo, it's too much, yo. Y'all be finessing, like, it's just too much, like. But at the end of the day, Miss, I'm not about to sit there and go in no office when I have a lot going on. Oh, that's what it was, the curfews. So, boom, the paper that I seen, it was saying that I had violated. If you're saying that CRT confirmed that I started working on 8/3/2025, on the paper I seen it said 8/4, and you wanted me to sign for 8/4 and some other dates, and I didn't tell you that, Miss, I was working. I said, Miss, can I just call my boss to make sure those wasn't dates that I was working? That's all I said to you, Miss. I didn't say, oh, I was working on those dates. Why else would I call my boss if that was the case? You know what I'm saying? Like that, like make it make sense, Miss. And she already had us put our hands up and make it official that we're not going to sit here and lie, and you sitting up here and lying in front of the judge. That's crazy.
Hugh McClay, anything further?
Yeah, well, I just wanted to respond to his actions with the misconduct. He was upset over the misconduct, visibly upset. And when I did have somewhere to go at the time, and all I said to him was, Julian, can you use the bathroom? And he jumped up, stormed out of the office, was way ahead of me to the point where I had two officers in an office noticed that he was upset and that I was chasing after him to get his attention. And, just while he was in the bathroom, we didn't take him down because it wasn't to that point, but we felt as if it could have gotten to that point. And that's why we placed handcuffs on him, because, we can't have people coming in here escalating like that. We are trained to respond to situations like that before it gets to the point where we have to take somebody down. And that's why we responded the way that we did. And I also just wanted to point out that because of how he responded in that situation, that it is, his behaviors are serious enough to warrant the revocation of his parole and to continue his incarceration. Because again, that the way he responded, it was not safe. If he had responded in a way where he was maybe like saying, "Hey, Miss McClay, can we discuss this at a different time?" then it wouldn't have ended like that. But because of how he was speaking, by the way he was posturing, that's why we responded the way that he did. And I do believe that his behaviors, especially that day, did violate his parole conditions because it was that serious.
Okay, I'd like to.
One second. I just have a quick question for P.O. McClay. When was Mr. Bennett aware of his curfew? Made aware?
So the day that he came in to sign his conditions, he came in on, one second, let me just pull his, $7:15 is when he came in for intake, and he signed his GPS agreement on 7/15/2025.
Can I respond now or no? I'm all set.
Okay, so counsel, and if you and counsel want to respond at this time, yes.
Yo, Miss, and I really want to reiterate this. I'm sorry to sound repetitive, but she was telling me she's in a rush to go to the north end of Hartford. She told me I need to go take a piss test. So I got up and I went to the piss test room. I already know where it's at because I've been there before. So she took that as me being abrupt. No, you're rushing me. You're telling me you have to go to the north end of Hartford to go see another parolee. So of course I know where to go. You feel me? I got to the bathroom. She told me to come out the bathroom. She said, "You need to calm down, relax." I said, "Miss, what are you talking about? I'm fine." I said, "Miss, I just want to take this piss so I could go, and that's it." I wasn't being aggressive. And again, if I was being aggressive and if I was posturing, like she keeps saying, it automatically there's no nothing. There's no talking. You're going to take me down or you're going to pull your guns out and shoot me, one or the other. You get what I'm saying? If I was being that aggressive and out of control as she's making it seem, when they told me to turn around and put the cuffs on, I wouldn't have just turned around and put the cuffs on. Do you get where I'm going with this? Like, if that was really the case, why would I be so non-compliant just to turn around and be compliant? How does that make sense? So that's the only point I'm trying to get across. And the entire time, I'm not going to say nothing about it because I know my attorney already has it in the bag and stuff. But you'll see at the revocation hearing what time it really is, because there's people that heard the whole conversation. So you can't sit there and try to play me like that and make me seem like I'm some type of animal when I was just out there working with kids. There's no way.
Counsel, anything further? Thank you, Mr. Bennett.
Yes, miss.
No.
Okay, P.O. McClay, anything further?
Yeah, I do want to point out that because, again, there were two parole officers in an office that we both walked by. The fact that they heard what was going on and they saw what was going on, they responded to the bathroom, and two supervisors responded as well. So if it wasn't that serious, they would not have responded.
And you would have also took me down as well. Y'all would have took me to a fixed surface as well. That's what I'm trying to get you to understand. You're sitting here lying under oath.
Thank you, Mr. Bennett.
Sorry, miss. I'm sorry.
I understand.
Sonia, I got you. You win, Ms. McClain. If I was wrong, I apologize. You got it.
Julian,
if I was wrong, I was
Julian,
being aggressive. I'm
no...
sorry. It is what it is. I'm not going to go back and forth with you about it. Like, at the end of the day, you're going to stick to your guns, and I know what really happened. I'm sorry. If I was wrong, I'm sorry. And that's just what it is. All right? But I'm not going to go back and forth, tit for tat. Like, you're a woman, you win. That's just what it is.
Mr. Bennett, thank you. Thank you. I hear you. I hear you. P.O. McClain, anything further?
No, not at this time, ma'am.
Thank you.
Ms. Saunders, she hates me, Ms. Saunders. She don't like me. That lady hates me.
Mr. Bennett, you've made your statement. You testified. You're under oath. Any more comments, counsel?
No.
Okay. I'm just going to take a brief recess before I make my findings and recommendation.
Thank you, cuz. I appreciate it for real. Yo, Kez, what's this black phone about, Keslo? The president called on this? I was looking, I'm like, what the heck? Yeah, for real, right? If that motherfucker ringing, that mean that the warden or the president calling, you heard?
Julian.
Yes, miss?
Julian, we're still live streaming, so everybody can hear you.
Oh, I'm sorry, miss.
Okay?
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
Sir, please don't touch the equipment.
Fuck yeah. Stop, Kez, man. Stop your stuff. Oh, shit. Yo, Kaz, how everybody get to mute their shit, but I can't mute my shit, Kaz? What's that about?
Officer, are you there?
Kazzy?
Yep.
I'm sorry, the
lady-
CO at the facility.
Oh, the Miss
sorry.
CO, the Miss CO calling.
What's that?
Officer, while the PO's in recess, if you would like to mute the equipment, I'm just asking for the inmate not to touch the equipment.
My bad, miss.
Okay. Yeah, no problem. Thank
And
you.
then when Officer Saunders comes back, you can unmute him again.
All right.
Have them come back in and unmute you.
Can you hear us?
Yes.
Yes, perfect. Thank you.
Yes, ma'am.
Regarding charge one GPS, I make a finding of probable cause based on State's Exhibits A, D, K, and L. Charge 2, curfew, I make a finding based on State's Exhibits A, D. E, K, and L. Charge 3, obedience to the law. I make a no finding as the state failed to provide sufficient evidence to prove Mr. Bennett's actions meet the elements of this charge. Being that there were so many GPS and curfew violations, I do find that the acts are serious enough to warrant revocation. And I have also determined that you should be held while you wait for your revocation hearing. Your revocation hearing will be scheduled within 60 business days from your return to custody. And you've been in custody since, one second.
August 14th.
Yeah, so within 16 business days, you'll have your second.
So, I'm going to be honest, we're getting to the end of it. I've been on probation numerous times, and sometimes your PO just doesn't like you. So I feel him on that, and maybe that's why he bugged out. But I knew for sure he wasn't going to get it because, bro, you bugged out.
Okay, and you're gonna get a hearing or a hearing disposition. It's gonna have a tentative date. So that date is tentative. It's subject to change, but it'll be around that date. Okay, if it's not on the date that's listed.
Yes, miss.
Okay, thank you very much.
All right. Thank you.
P.O. Saunders, may I request that when he is given that tentative date, that I also be given that tentative date?
Okay, I'll do it today. I'll send you. I guess I can send you an email. I'll double check with my supervisor.
Okay,
but
I appreciate that. Okay, thank you.
Okay.
All right, Julian, I'll be back in touch with you. Okay.
All right, so that's it.
Okay.
Like,
That's it for today. That's it for today. You and I are going to talk
me
again. Okay.
They smoking me or what? I'm not understanding this.
So she made a no finding on one of the 3 charges. So there's 2 charges, the GPS and curfew. Okay. That we're going to go forward with at your revocation hearing. You and I will talk more about that, okay?
But
don't
stay blessed and stay free.
I thought.
No, that's not. That's for the revocation hearing.
You got it, Ms. J. I'm keeping on my shit.
All right. All right.
Thank you.
I'll talk to you soon.
Y'all have a blessed day. All right.
All right. Thank you.
Kelsey, you good.